Alrighty, Roo, and Cuckoo gets you to you, and all my nobodies not watching out there. I feel like I'm gonna be like, I shouldn't have ended it quite so soon because you were just about to finish this side story, because I kind of want to go back to the main story because this is all happy and stuff, and I know that things are gonna take. I know. Let's just. I have some things I gotta do later. I might as well just. Let's just. Hello, darkness, my old friend, and just, let's just get there. Let's just do it. I'm kind of scared. I think she'll be happy as long as I'm trying, but I think she'll be happy as long as I'm trying my best. I think you'll do great. After the surprise of a new club member, it seems like everyone has their spirits lifted with something new to look forward to. Yay! Oh, no, I guess it's not done. Or is it? I don't really know. Another school day ends. Swallowing their anxiety, Yuri makes her way to the club room. How long is this going to be? Maybe it's like a whole last day? Expecting it to be the last one to arrive. As she opens the door, she's surprised to find only Sayori in the club room. It's club time again! Monica went to the computer lab, so it's just us today. Is that okay? Why? That's unusual. Why would you... Okay, whatever, man. Yuri silently nods, unable to make eye contact. Great, cool, awesome. I'm sorry about yesterday. Sayori tilts her head unsure exactly what Yuri is talking about. Well, I mean, the way I got overly excited to share my books, and how you had to stop me so we could talk first. It was so inconsiderate of me. Okay, you're like, I get it, I see it. You're like, I'm sorry, I don't, I just, yeah. But at least you see it later. That's cool. Okay, so, yeah. I got too excited and forgot to think about everyone else in the club, so, Yuri, you didn't do anything wrong. I thought it was cute how excited you were. Well, still, I think I changed my mind about the book. We don't have to read it. Huh? Why? Because I know you were just humoring me anyway. Wow. You have, no, self-confidence, It's like self-esteem. I think that's the word. Words. It's hyphenated. That's, look at you, girl. You're gorgeous. You got beautiful, long purple hair, that you kind of used to hide behind, but that's okay. That fits for your character. It's, super long, that cannot be easy to maintain, but it is gorgeous. When you see a girl or even a man with, super fucking long hair, you're just like... At least I am. I used to have longer hair, and it's not easy to maintain. It was never anything like that, but I know people who have that, and I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. And people, I respect that. I think having long hair is actually more natural for humans, but I had issues I couldn't maintain it properly, so I needed to get... Yeah, anyway, not important. But I think that's gorgeous, but that does show that she does kind of, have sort of her own thing, and it says a lot about her character. Also, she's just I mean, they're all hot. They're anime characters. They're hot, But she's got a great figure. She's just... I'm not gonna diagnose her, but I feel like I don't know if I should. It's I think it's pretty obvious, but I'd like to get more boxes ticked. But it seems pretty obvious to me what her diagnosis is. Not that I am the authority on all such things, and there's many ways that can manifest, etc. But it seems super obvious in my opinion because they're displaying some very common symptoms of it. So anyway, moving on. In retrospect, it's rather obvious that nobody is truly interested. My heart hurts for you, Yuri. just because they're not used, it's a literature club. They like fucking Sayori is. I'm glad you're talking to Sayori, because Sayori is like, I'm gonna be hurt if you don't let me read your book now. You don't have to read with me, but I'm gonna be sad because I want to understand why you are so excited. You know? Because to me, that is interesting. Because I like to see what makes people happy and what makes them sad. And right now, I can tell you're sad, and this is making you sad because you think I don't want this. And it just surprised me because it was like, oh, okay, this is happening. Wow, somebody has more like energy than me on a thing right now, and that does not happen to Sayori every day. That's not a normal occurrence. She's usually the most excited person in the room at all times, like in a good way, in a positive way, not like, you know, other things. But so she's just like, what is going on? Like, you poor child. Like, that you think that we don't, like, we're so happy to have you. You just surprised us, and it was like, oh, so okay, cool, like, you belong here. It's just, we were just surprised, that's all. But if you like it so much, then it must be worth sharing. I've already decided I'll join the club, so you don't have to try so hard to entice me. It's like, no, you already did the thing. We expected to have to, like, you know, sell you on it. And we're like, really? No selling? Okay, cool, fine, that's awesome. We accepted that. It's not about that anymore. It's about being part of the club. That's not what I was doing. A moment of uncomfortable silence stretches between the two of them. Come on, Sayori, you can do it. You can do it. Just be yourself. You know that you can overcome this awkwardness because you're just, you know, just be honest. Or this could just, there we go. Well, the thing is, we don't even have any club activities yet. Like, it was just the two of us. We were still trying to figure everything out. I mean, Monica and I have just been working on recruitment stuff mostly. It's just like, when did this happen and how long has it happened? I don't know. Does it matter? Who knows? So it sounded like something fun we could do together. Reading your books. You know, like as a club activity? That would be okay, right? It's like, it's not like we have anything on the docket. Why am I being so resistant to this anyway? I feel like you just automatically feel sorry about most things, including your own existence. But you can't really help it. It's just kind of how it goes and who you are. So you're just, you know, you think you're doing everything wrong all the time. And then, you know, you don't notice sometimes at the time, and then you look back at it and you're like, fuck, I messed up. You done goofed. But you didn't. Like, you just think too harshly of yourself and don't understand. And then when you do, you punish yourself too much. Because you're like, I don't want to do that. You recognize that you have these issues, but you have the problem of recognizing it in the moment, because that's just part of the thing itself. It's the nature of the beast. Anyway, armchair psychology aside, it's exactly what I wanted in the first place, and you're being so nice about it. I really don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry for being like this. Yep. Pretty sure I got you pegged, but you know, it's okay. You're in a safe place. This is a good place for you. You'll be fine. You don't have to apologize. Just tell me if there's anything I can do to help you feel more comfortable here. Sayori pulls her desk up against Yuri's and sits next to her. Okay, so, like, that's kind of nice. Like, I did that in the other thing, and now they're doing that, which indicates that, like, I don't think it means the same thing, but it's still pretty cool. The book in question is already on Yuri's desk. Peering over, Sayori reads the cover of the book. Dusk Bell. Part 1 of the Everlast Saga. Aha! It's Dusk Bell by Annabelle. Sorry, I'm ready now. Oh, right, I should probably get some paper. Yuri grabs a spiral notebook of hers and tears out a few sheets of paper. Wait, how come you need paper? Oh, it's useful to draw things out sometimes, like maps, timelines, family trees, or just taking notes. Okay, so this is a pretty in-depth This is like some Cimmerillion fucking level JR token shit. You know, like this gets... I mean, that's fantasy. A lot of times it gets deep. You know, it gets deep. And also that says a lot, again, more about the diagnosis I would give you. Notes? Like, is there gonna be a test there? I don't do well on tests. Please don't say this is a pop quiz. I will have a mini heart attack. Yes, that's an effective strategy. Exactly. I'm sure it'll be especially helpful for someone new to the genre. It's like, what have I signed myself up for? It's like, no, I think that it's like, I don't think you're gonna have to do that. It might be that complicated, but I think it's just, this is just kind of how they roll, and this is their deal, and they really truly, like, they test themselves. Like, no, there is no test. They test themselves. They put that themselves. Like, if you forget a little bit about something, it's not really gonna matter too much, just like in most books. Like, I can barely real talk. Like, I read a book and I'm just like, if there's too many, like I was reading a Chuck Palahniuk book, what was it called? It wasn't called Crash. Rant. It was called Rant, because that was like a nickname or something related to the a character in it. I guess it's, I don't know how, it was from a bunch of different people's perspectives. Like, it was basically quotes from them. So it would say their name and then what they were saying. And that was the entirety of the book, was just their name. And then there was like quotes, and there were like chapters of it that they were all sort of like grouped together. And they kind of explained that at the beginning. That sort of like, kind of like reading a bunch of newspaper articles or interviews about whatever the topic of that chapter is about. And I was like, I don't even, like, I'm seeing the name, I don't remember who this is anymore. Like, I don't remember what other things they have related to them because I can't see them, and it's just a name, even though the name's unique. There weren't that many names, but I'm just like, meh. I forget their names. There's only 4 of them. Like, it was bad last night. I was just like, yeah, like fun size. Let's keep calling her that. Sayori's joke flew completely over Yuri's head. But thinking about it, she decides it's probably best at a tip. Yeah, no, 100%. Man, now I feel. I didn't notice it was a joke either. I didn't think you were joking either. I thought you were just being sincere. You're like, no, that's an effective strategy. But again, I think I had more in common. That's probably why I like Yuri. Okay, cool. We're figuring things out. Well, I'm not used to having company through this, but I'll try to help make it as accessible as possible. And it's like, it may be that complicated, or it may not be. But you have some, if it is that complicated, then you have an expert, so huzzah. I trust you. You're like super smart. Oh, please. Yuri tries to dismiss the compliment, but she can't hide her smile. She can't hide her smile and light blush. You can't generalize intelligence. I'm only smart in things I have a lot of experience in. You can generalize intelligence, most people do, but that just speaks volumes on specifically the thing that I am, you know, you've got the thing. But at least you're pretty self-aware whether or not you've been diagnosed. You seem to be aware of the symptoms of it and how it affects your life, and you're actively trying to not irritate, annoy, or otherwise cause problems, conflicts, anything. It's just you kind of can't help who you are, because that's kind of it. And it's like, you can build up patterns of behavior, and you can try to get better at recognizing the thing, but the reality is it's just kind of how you are. Contrarily, I'm awful at anything involving real people. Like, take now, for instance. I have not looked you in the eye since I've walked into this room. Maybe for just a second when you complimented me. And then I looked away immediately. That should be evident enough from the 2 days I spent here so far. Like, it's fine. You belong here. It's fine. We'll all work together to make this club cool and more interesting and all that. You stress out about it, and we'll just try to make you feel comfortable and let you know it's not a big deal, and we'll probably just keep running in these loops over and over, but it's alright. Hopefully eventually you'll relax in a manner that you realize that no one wants to cause you harm here, and we all just want to be free. So in my eyes, it's everyone else who comes off as smart, right? Especially you. Did she just like how happy she is, but she's like, no! Like, Sarah rubs her shoulders against Yuri's. Oh, we're having physical contact now. I did not warn you of this. Let's see how you react. You're such a sweetheart when you're not being shy. You're still a sweetheart then. You're like afraid of yourself. Anyway, would you like to get started? Okay. You are almost a person! You are almost a person! You're still a person. You're just a person with a condition. It's fine. After the minor diversion between... it's not neurotypical. After the minor diversion between them, the two get back on track with their planned club activity. Yuri begins to guide Sayori through the basics of the fantasy world her story takes place in. The more she details the races, factions, histories, elements of magic, the more questions Sayori seems to have. See, this is why you take notes. She was right. But at least you have somebody who will look out for you, and, you know, like... It's complicated. There's like a lot of fantasy worlds are very, very complicated. But despite Sayori's expectations, Yuri eloquently guides her through it in a way that's such that it's fun to follow along. It becomes evident that the world-building aspect of the story, not just the story itself, is one that Yuri finds her passion leaning towards. How do people come up with this stuff? Yeah, some people just have incredibly overactive imaginations and very, very detailed capacities, you know, and come up with an idea, and then that idea, it's like, well, how does that work? And it just sort of organically branches off. And fantasy and sci-fi are more likely to answer that to some degree. Now, sometimes they'll just be like, shut up, it's magic, or science. Throw some jargon of words and just be like that. But a lot of them will sit there and be like, no, this is how a dragon breathes fire. It's like, so the dragon actually produces this combustible gas that it also produces, you know, has this thing that can create a spark in the back of its mouth. And so it blows this combustible gas, like similar to gasoline, but burns at a higher temperature, and they can control how concentrated it is or not, and, you know, whether it's, you know, like just straight fire like a flamethrower, or, you know, they can, yeah, and that's, like, they get into it, like, that's how that works. Or they can do electricity, and then they have different glands, and they have different whatever, they can do, like, there's some reason, like, there's actually science to the magic in some way, a lot of times. How do people come up with this stuff? It's like the exact opposite kind of writing that I do. What kind of writing? Oh, like poetry and stuff like that. Yeah, no, there's not... I mean, you can be incredibly detailed in poetry, But a lot of times it's better if it's not too detailed. Like, it's detailed, it's for you. You can, like, it's good. Like, it's going to be detailed to focus on certain things. But you got to find a way to, like, make those certain things what the significance is, because, you know, fantasy novels take forever. They're, like, real long. The things I write are just putting down the feelings that come into my head, you know? But this is, like, there must be so much planning and hard work. It's like, it sort of builds itself. But yes, I feel like these people make, like, their own little, like, compendium and, you know, something to explain it all so that they remember, you know. Ah, you're into poetry? I think there's an appendix that some of the kingdom's written works, like poetry and folk song. Of course there is. No way. But yeah, no, they're again, there's a whole world in these things, like, you know. There's stuff that hasn't been found yet, that the author only knows. It's like, oh yeah, no, there's this hidden treasure somewhere that I thought of, and it exists, but I haven't found a reason for it to come into the thing. So, but it's there. I just thought of it, and I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna use that someday. Yuri giggles, filling Sayori's heart with happiness as she realizes it's the first time she's heard Yuri laugh. It means Yuri must be having fun. That looks like a happy face. And back to that. Anyways, I think we can get started reading now if you're ready. Okay, but I can't read very fast. Oh, that's fine. I'm very patient. You are, because you realize that you want others to be patient with you, and you need that, so that's what you do, is you try to be as patient as you can with others. Again, another, box ticked. Patience is something I pride myself in. I see. Sayori writes, Yuri is patient into her notes. I mean, you can go ahead and take notes on Sayori. I don't know. Yuri. I don't know how she's going to feel about it. She may take offense to it. She may be thankful, but hey, that's for the book. I'm just kidding. But I'm glad you're patient, because I need that sometimes. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Just like her, you get out of hand. A lot of times. Sayori flips through the first few pages of the book, getting past the table of contents. Okay. Chapter 1. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. The room becomes silent as the two of them begin to read. But the silence only lasts for a moment before Sayori speaks up again. Of course, yeah, that's not gonna happen. What does vindicated mean? Well, in this context, it essentially means that he was proven innocent. Okay. It's okay to ask questions, right? Of course. Sayori turns the page. Are those footnotes? Yeah, a lot of dialogue has cultural references that require some explanation to be understood. Which you usually don't pick up in context till later, but, you know, whatever, it's all good. Let's continue reading. Yuri's relaxed expression remains unchanged. Meanwhile, Sayori's expression grows tense as she tries to make her way through the dense text. I don't know if I should end this because it's taking a second. You know what? I'm going to end it. Because it's taking a second and I don't want to run out of time because that's annoying. So yeah, I'm going to end it and I'll be back in a second.